Hi there, I'm Brendan Petersen, the founder of DARKSLIDE Pictures and the director of Paper Wasps. Welcome to number 6 in the Appalling Productions Mondays series. This episode is entitled Neural Storytelling, aka Asymmetrical Storytelling. This is a type of storytelling that I've employed personally on my 3 feature films so far, DARKSLIDE, Paper Wasps, and No Reason to Exist. And also we've employed them a bit on Martin King's 6 short film anthology known as Wake Up. And so let's just jump right into the video and talk about some differences between the regular 3-act structure of a story and what we call neural storytelling. Okay. Storytelling is the act of conveying an idea or a message, regardless of the medium one chooses. Creating literature, a film, visual art, or verbally communicating an idea towards another human being are all examples of this. The acts of a story are used to show change over time. The structure has a beginning, middle, and end, but they don't necessarily have to be in that order. It's about giving people what they need, which is the necessities. Sometimes you have just enough to get by. Other times you have too much and you're stuffed full. It's about a middle ground. It's about a fine balance between too much and too little. Each part of a whole does not need to be equal, fair, or just. Life isn't always equal, fair, or just. Life begins and it ends, it stops and it goes, it rises and it falls. This is the true nature of a story. The structure is a guideline or method from which to evoke and convey these messages and ideas from one human mind to another. We aren't telepathic creatures, so there must be a translation. There must be a vessel in which one receives these messages. Video games have come up with a concept called asymmetrical gameplay, where depending on the input device one chooses to play the game, it changes the experience of how the game is played. People who choose different devices from one another can coexist in the same game, both playing alongside one another within the game. One person can choose a conventional controller that jumps over an obstacle with the press of a button, and another can choose a motion controller which does the same action with a physical motion of the hand. Both players have a choice, but can experience the same game together, regardless of having a different input device. To me, storytelling can be similar. One brings their own device into each and every message or idea being conveyed. One brings their life experiences into the mix. Everything that has ever happened in their life leading up to that point molds who they are as a person. This changes how a message or idea is perceived and digested depending on what each individual brings to the table. Focus on giving people what they need and the message will find itself. If you focus on giving people what they want, they might stuff themselves full, gorge out on the process, or overindulge. Give them what they need so that they crave more. Don't starve them, but give them just enough to survive. And watch as your story with its own messages and ideas stands on its own 2 feet. And so, yes, the regular arc of a story is like this: beginning, middle, and end. And there's different variations of that, and there's different conflicts that happen, and there's rises and falls, and sometimes there's multiple rises and falls, and each act might have their own individual conflict or kind of obstacle that gets in the way of the story or the characters or the plot moving forward. And so this is called what we call a narrative or a story. But another way to look at it is like a neuron in a brain, which is almost kind of like how we plan stories in the story web phase, where we kind of plot out all of our ideas and we put them here and here and here, and then we connect them. And through these connections, we find different avenues in which to explore our arcs that we are going to pre-plan. But another way to approach that is to create multiple rises and falls with different avenues going into different places that connect in different ways, and it opens up different ways of digesting information, basically. And so we don't have to actually show a normal narrative. Instead, we can show a neural narrative, and maybe it doesn't make full sense to what we expect in the structure of a narrative, but we're still digesting information, therefore making connections. And this is how I explain neural storytelling, aka asymmetrical storytelling. Hey, thanks for watching this week's episode of Appalling Productions Mondays, and stay tuned for next week's episode. I'm not going to say what it's about this time, but it's going to be awesome. And yeah, so if you've noticed, we've actually started doing these every Monday, and that's what I'm trying to do. Is we're going to make these episodes every Monday consistently now, and I know we didn't do that before, but really going to try to do it this time. And part of that is, of course, how YouTube has changed things a little bit, and now I'm apparently not monetized because we need to get 1,000 subscribers on this channel. So part of the incentive of why I'm making these videos is to reach that 1,000 subscribers, but I had kind of planned to do these videos anyways, and now it's just kind of a boot in the butt to do it. So if you could actually help me with that, that'd be cool. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe below, and if you like experimental film, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to expand the experimental film community a little bit in YouTube and kind of create my own community a bit around DARKSLIDE Pictures to help promote experimental film in general. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you around, the YouTube place, the internet place. Internet. Everybody goes for porn. Internet. Everybody goes for porn.